morning, good morning. Turn on the marquee lights. Good morning tonight.
Good morning, good morning. Broadway is feeling bright. Good morning tonight.
When the theaters shut their doors, we were so sad and blue.
Now we're bringing back Broadway in our Tuesday night review.
So good morning.
We'll make you feel alright. Good morning tonight for you.
Good morning tonight.
What a take. Jackie Cox!
Good morning tonight, Michael.
Good morning tonight. Let me get a sip of this before we go any further.
I'm
sporting my Broadway Cares mug.
Mine tastes like Orange County, which is where I went to high school. I don't know if you knew that, Michael.
What does Orange County taste like?
It tastes like self-tanner and, neoliberals is what it tastes like.
Oh, yes. I am familiar. My Broadway Cares mug this evening, full of my drink of choice, reminds me of one of our guests tonight because what it tastes like is fire whiskey and regrets.
Ooh.
But more on that in just a little while because what a show we've got planned tonight.
What a show. It's 7 p.m., Michael.
Not only is it 7 p.m., it is September.
It is September. We are now in the fall, which is why we really jazzed it up tonight and gave you some fall sparkle. Out with the summer
moment.
Out with the summer.
Yes, out with the summer. On to the pumpkin spice lattes and the sequined accoutrement. It's gonna be good.
It's true. I think I had my first pumpkin. I know I had my first pumpkin sip today. It was only hours ago, but who knows for sure at this point what actually happened at 1 p.m. whenever I had that.
No one knows. Jackie Cox, happy 7 o'clock. It is 7 o'clock, which of course means that if everything were right in this world, now is the time that theater people would be springing from their beds, warming up at their theaters, and getting ready to wow another audience with the magic that is live theater.
But Michael, as you may have noticed, and as I have certainly noticed, that's not happening these days. COVID-19 pandemic has Broadway dark, and a lot of people are missing the razzle and dazzle of the Great White Way. So good morning, and welcome to a morning show just for us nighttime people.
Yes, and what a show. Good morning, Clink. We do a lot of cheersing on this show.
Well, the more you cheers, the more you drink.
Yes, Jackie, I had figured that part out. What a show we have today. We have Marty Thomas and Marissa Rosen, besties. I'm giving them the title Broadway Power Couple. They are not a couple, but maybe.
Why not?
They are a power. They're not a couple, but they are a power couple.
Yeah. You know, I think we can expand the definitions. It's 2020. We can do whatever we want. There's platonic couples. There's couples who fuel each other's fire. There's professional couples, and I would say, yes, I would also vote for Marty and Marissa as a Broadway power couple. Sorry, Orfeh and Andy Carl. You're out.
They shall be devastated. And so, of course, we were all of August, which is the month that is now past, we were raising money for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. I know if you've watched the show before, you've heard us talk an awful lot about BCEFA. We have exciting news because we are keeping the party going for one extra week.
This is true.
Yes, because of the Strip-A-Thon.
The Strip-A-Thon, which ends on Labor Day, is currently running, and one of our amazing guests, Marissa Rosen, is participating in said Broadway Bears Strip-A-Thon, and I believe, we'll double check when she gets on the show, but I believe she's currently the #1 female fundraiser, so she could win that title this year, which would be incredible.
Well,
any and all tips, I'm going to keep my eye on my Venmo, so any and all tips during the show will go directly to Marissa's Strip-A-Thon page. Michael, how much money has the Broadway-Talk Live Network, which includes 3 amazing shows, how much have we raised collectively so far for the Strip-A-Thon?
I am glad you asked. You guys, we're going to give you a real number after this week. But so far in the month of August, the 3 shows combined have raised a little more than $600 for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. We love them. We hope you love them. We hope some of you have maybe looked them up and learned a little bit more about them. And we're super excited. And thank you to everyone who's donated and all of your generosity. A little more than $600.
That's pretty amazing, especially because, I know we have a lot of young people who are watching this show who maybe don't have a lot of money. So, we really appreciate any little bit helps, especially because it's going directly to this community that the entire Broadway Talk Live network is here to support and promote. And in addition, this year, the strippers are also able to have some of that money given to themselves, since all of them are also out of work, which is amazing. So you're also helping an amazing group of performers who otherwise would be working 8 shows a week, and unfortunately are not doing that right now.
Yeah. Well, we've got guests, we've got surprises, we even have a special performance tonight. Speaking of amazing groups of performers, Jackie, what do you say we jump right into tonight's show?
I can't wait. Let's do it.
I know. All right. Our first guest made the Broadway debut heard round the world last year when she premiered alongside Kristin Chenoweth in For the Girls on Broadway. She later went on to tour with that cast until appearances were halted due to COVID-19. She's also a staple of New York City's concert and cabaret scene, having appeared in countless shows at Feinstein's 54 Below, Joe's Pub, and beyond.
Currently, she's raising money for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS by participating in her 10th year of the online Strip-A-Thon.
Let's take a look at our first guest. It's Marissa Rosen.
Marissa, good morning tonight.
Good morning tonight.
Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Cheers. Oh. Cheers. Marissa, what's in that mug? Tell us the truth.
It's Coke Zero on the rocks. Don't get it twisted.
Coke Zero?
I know.
You've strayed from Diet Coke.
I needed a little bit more sugar.
That's what I'm saying. At 7 p.m. having some caffeine. You're living on the edge.
Never sleeping again.
What else is new? Marissa, I see a lot of comments in here claiming to be super fans. As you know, Jackie and I are also super fans. We are so excited to have you tonight. Good morning tonight.
I'm so happy to be here. And I would just like to say that Michael Hull took 75% of the photos that were posted in that montage. So I love you.
Wait, and Michael, for those in the audience who are looking for photography, I believe your photo studio is open again, correct?
We just reopened. So if you're in the New York area and you're looking for new photos and you want to be where Marissa Rosen was, come on down because we are snapping away.
Snapping away.
The most beautiful work.
I may show up as well because I love photos.
Oh, good. I haven't taken enough photos of Jackie Cox. I feel like we could use a few more.
Marissa, where are you coming to us from?
Today I am here on the longest of all the islands.
The Long Island. The Long Island. The Long Island.
Here with my mother.
And how has it been? How has your quarantine been?
I mean, it's weird to say like good, but for a quarantine, I'm pretty lucky. I feel like I lucked out. I'm close enough to Manhattan that should I need to go and check on my apartment and things like that, it's close enough. But I've gotten to spend more time at home than I have since high school. Yeah. So that's where we are.
Well, and you and your mom are very close, right? Yeah.
Oh my God, she's the best. Everyone. I mean, she's internet famous. Like she's more famous than any of us, I would have to say. she's the best. She feels like she has to cook a gourmet meal every night and check up on her Instagram. So it's been great.
Well,
you just have to support her and her journey to internet stardom.
I'm here for it. I am riding those coattails all the way up.
Yeah, you guys, there goes Marissa Rosen's handle is scrolling across the bottom. Give her a follow and look for her mom. It's like a scavenger hunt. Yeah, you can just click around. You'll find her real fast, I think. It's not a secret.
No, she's Little Debbie Rosen. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Marissa, so you are in your 10th year of Broadway Bears, which first of all, congratulations. Second of all, thank you. How has it been? I know this year is super weird. And we weren't able to do the beloved Broadway Bears event that is such a centerpiece of the season and of the Broadway community. How has this year's experience been?
It makes me want to cry immediately. Just talking about it. I'm like a sap for it. This year it has been tough. I know that I had thoughts of possibly putting my fundraising on hold this year. But then I thought about everyone that needs help, like normally needs help. And then in this time of COVID and the quarantine and people out of work and people with hospital bills and people losing family members, it's needed more than ever. And I am a firm believer in all you can do is ask. Mm-hmm. So I was like, absolutely not. Let us get on this. And let me tell you, the community is insane. People have been donating up a storm, whether they have a job, whether they don't, whether they're connected to someone who is struggling, whether they're not. I have had multiple people donate multiple times. I've been a mess. Like, it has been the opposite of what I thought it would be. It's been incredible.
That is so incredible. And for everyone who's watching and wants to participate in this amazing experience, to feel part of this community, whether you live here in New York or not, if you tip me at Jackie Cox NYC on Venmo or Cash App or PayPal, all of those tips will be going directly to Marissa Rosen's Strip-A-Thon page, which will then go directly to this community. And I think, Broadway Cares was really started during a different pandemic. And so this is an organization that's designed to help people through one of the worst pandemics the human species has ever faced. And now we're entering a second one. And I think especially for the Broadway community, right? I think this pandemic hits in two ways. One, in the sense of just the sheer scariness of the disease itself. And two, because live theater is one of those places where COVID can be spread. And so while all of our community is out of work, Marissa, thank you for helping to keep the community alive. And here's the best thing about you, Marissa, is you've been hustling on the streets of New York for as long as I have. I remember even longer. I think, one of the first.
You calling her old, Jackie?
No, I'm saying she's been hustling since she was 12.
Mm-hmm. And I'm still 12.
And now she's 14. and you and I came up in New World Stages, which used to do a lot more cabaret programming and all these cool places. And I think what's amazing is now, all that hard work has paid off. And I think, as Michael mentioned, we have to talk about your Broadway debut.
The Broadway debut heard round the world.
I'm really happy for my publicist, Michael Hall, who I've hired. He's an intern, though. Sorry.
All the money's going to Broadway Cares. I'm fine with it.
Literally everything I would pay him is going to Broadway Cares.
So you made it was last what, November?
November.
Last November. You have been. You're. Here's what's cool about you, and for everyone watching. If you're here in New York, Marissa Rosen is like a household name. Like, everybody knows Marissa Rosen. But maybe to some of our viewers who aren't directly attached to the Broadway community, aren't here in New York, you might not be someone that they were aware of. So it makes you kind of like a little bit of like a treasure of New York. But that being said, so Marissa booked Broadway last year, and the internet broke. Everyone who's anyone was like so genuinely excited for you. And that, I think, is such a testament of you and your work and your spirit. So take us back. It's November. You've booked Broadway. I can't even imagine. What was that like?
I have no idea. It was a blur. It was one of those, as people in the community, we all know, we grow up dreaming of the Broadway dream, and we think we know exactly what it's going to look like. And we're like, we're going to hustle, and I'm going to walk in a room with thousands of dancers and lift my leg, and someone's going to be like, yo. And that doesn't always happen. I'm sure it's happened to someone, but it was such, I knew that my journey was going to be a little bit unconventional, as I feel a uniqueness to my performing. It was so quick. I like booked it. We had like a couple of rehearsals and it was opening night. So I had really no time to be nervous. I think I've spoken to Michael about this. I didn't cry, I think, until opening night was like over. Like from the moment I booked it till rehearsal.
You were just making it happen.
I couldn't mentally let it go. And then I think I cried like coming home from the opening night party.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. I still feel a little bit speechless.
I want to cry hearing this story.
It's too much because you dream about it your whole life, but in our lives, we perform every day. You know, it's no different than what we do in a bar or in a cabaret space or in a theater in North Dakota. Like, it's all the same. We're bringing joy to people with our talents through a stage, but there was just something about knowing the support that was coming in that people might have been happier for me than I was for me.
Well, and you had the support of the entire theater community, but also you had the support. You shared the stage for the majority of that show. It was just 3 people on stage, and one of them was a little known Tony Award winner? Question mark. Does she have a Tony? Doesn't matter. She's Kristin Chenoweth, who also. Kristin Chenoweth, who's obsessed with Marissa Rosen.
I thought Marissa Rosen was the only star in the show, but I could be wrong.
Chenoweth. I'll look up the pronunciation.
I'll look her up.
So that's what you were doing, and then you were touring, which is just like bananas. What was it like to travel with that cast and to get to bring this show to other audiences?
What's Kristin Chenoweth like on tour? Oh my God.
She's hilarious. She's okay. So I always call myself like, I don't know how to say this. Like, I want to be very PC about it, but like messy chic. Like I'm either in pajamas or a prom dress. Like there's no in between. And she is like exactly that, but her pajamas are bedazzled. Mm-hmm. And so every time you see her, she's wearing some sort of rhinestone, some sort of like wedge sneaker with like some sort of drink in her hand, her dog, but she's always wants to hug you no matter what she's doing, drops it at the drop of a hat. And she's like, come here. And I don't even know. It was like the most lovely group of people. The band had traveled with her for years and years. And then Crystal Monet Hall and I, who's a dream, were brought on. And we were just like this weird trio that loved to do things together, and me even talking about it doesn't feel real. So
I saw Jackie's eyes light up when you said prom dress and pajamas, and it's because that's actually what Jackie's wearing right now.
And a wedge sneaker.
See, but you're a little bit taller, I think, than Kristin and myself. So,
but a little wedge always helps. A little wedge will just give your butt a little lift. I'm wearing mine right now. I would kick my leg over my face, but I broke it during my WAP dance. So unfortunately, I can't undo that. And speaking of things that I would love to celebrate in addition to wedge sneakers, shout out to Hannah and also Jack, who've both tipped Marissa Rosen so that she may be the winner of the Broadway Bears Strip-A-Thon. And you are still in the lead. Is this true? I heard you were.
I think I am. It's hard out there for a girl. I apologize if you guys don't use profanity in your show.
You can.
But we call it titties in the top 10. And so we do try to celebrate some titties in the top 10. I believe there are 2 right now. Yes. But it's hard, the men in our community can sell a lot more things than I can sell. So I just have to sell certain other things.
You know what? In this economy, sell what you can. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
This mug will be up for auction in about an hour, so get on it.
Can't wait.
Marissa, you've also had a few amazing things that have happened in quarantine. We've had a tie-dye business at the Rosen Rainbow. Talk for a quick second about that. Can people buy stuff?
Quick.
What is
this? They sure can. My sister and I decided to quarantine tie-dye and be like, this sounds fun. We're bored. We did it. We posted about it. And all of a sudden, these amazing humans were like, I want that. And I want that. And I was like, you get a tie-dye and you get a tie-dye. And we literally have had a wait list since moment one. And we are just tie-dye dyeing t-shirts and masks and bandanas and, sweatshirts and overalls, and at the Rose and Rainbow on Instagram. It's been amazing because I get to be close to my sister, who we don't get to spend a ton of time together with our crazy lives. So the support has been awesome.
That's incredible. In addition, you were also a part of a Joe Biden video. Talk about that. How did that come
This is
to
so
be?
cool.
Yeah, Mary Mitchell Campbell, the amazing music director behind the reason I was with Kristin, likes to call me randomly and ask me for very bizarre things. And this wasn't that bizarre coming from her. And she was like, can you record something? It's going to be magic to do. And they're Raul Esparza and Titus Burgess and Jane Krakowski and just a million other people. They'll just gently be on it. It'll be for a Joe Biden event. And we're like, okay, sure. We filmed that months ago. And then, the Black Lives Matter movement and attention just needed to be paid there and elsewhere. And then they went forward with Joe Biden's announcement for his run for president. And 30 seconds into his live stream was my little face singing Magic to Do. And it was so weird. And I got phone calls. I didn't even know what was playing. And I was like, oops, Mom, guess what?
It's such a cool video. It's still, I watched it earlier today as I was talking to you. It is still on YouTube. If you search, Joe Biden, Magic to Do, Raul Esparza, Marissa Rosen, whatever you want to search, it's up there. It's super fun. Give it a look. And the last thing, I have one more thing before we can let you go anywhere, which is that, so as things start to slightly improve here in New York, a lot of venues are coming up with new and exciting ways to make new work. And I think you were involved in one of those as well. And I don't want to say anymore because I don't know what I'm allowed to say. So I'm just going to turn it over to you if you have anything else to tell us.
I actually don't know what I'm allowed to say either, but
well, then that's that.
I can be really Facebook shady and be like, there's a really cool event coming up that I filmed with Mary Mitchell and Jessica Vosk.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, me neither. They're hacks.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be coming up in November, and you might be able to see something super cool.
So if you give Marissa a follow on Instagram, you may just know about it when it is time. I'm sorry, guys. What a teasing thing to say. Marissa, we have, I don't know if you've ever heard of this person either, but Marty Thomas is on our show later. Like Broadway superstar, recording artist, producer.
Unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Well, if later, if something comes to you, come back and join us in just a little bit, will you?
I'd love to meet him.
Okay, great. Marissa Rosen, everybody.
I love
Marissa, we love you. Oh my gosh. So, and Michael, I think it's so amazing to hear Marissa's story and hear that Broadway story. And, I think as we've been talking about in regards to Broadway Cares, this is a time when not everyone feels like that story may come true for them. And so I want to now pivot us to our special report that is coming to us from the Be an Arts Hero campaign. So for those of you who tuned in, I had Brooke from Be an Arts Hero come on here a few weeks ago to talk about how Be an Arts Hero is trying to focus the Senate on extending the pandemic assistance. So that is continuing, but we also have some new information from Be an Arts Hero. So with today's special report, please welcome Jenny Grace from Be an Arts.
Hello.
Jenny Grace, good morning tonight. Cheers.
Good morning tonight.
Jenny Grace, what is in your mug?
Rosé.
Work.
Rosé all day. That's the best part about quarantine. You can have whatever
My mommy
you want.
juice. I don't have children, but I have a cat, and I lie to him about what's in the mug.
Oh my gosh. So Jenny Grace, as you come to us live from Blanche Devereaux's bedroom, I love your wallpaper. It's like my favorite
hair,
thing.
Thank you. My hair is a little fussy, but we'll fix it.
It's gorge. It's gorge. So Jenny Grace, talk to us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with Be an Arts Hero. And then I'm excited to hear about this upcoming news that's coming up.
Yes. Well, I'm a multi-hyphenate, writer, actor, director, producer person. I live in New York. And, I was sort of riding out the pandemic like most people, sort of on their couch, waiting for it to be over. And then I was like, at a certain point, I realized myself and my partner, Carson Elrod, who we run Be an Arts Hero together with Brooke Ishibashi, who you've already met. And we're just sort of like, so somebody's coming, right? Like somebody's going to save us, right? Like there's a plan, right? There's some kind of plan. There has to be a plan. Like Broadway's closed until 2021, but unemployment is about to end. FPUC is about to end. So what are the people who were on Broadway supposed to do in between that date and 2021? Somebody's going to do something, right? And then it was like crickets, as Brooke likes to say, crickets. And we realized we had to save ourselves. So that's what Being Arts Hero is about.
So you started Being Arts Hero.
And I think what's amazing about Being Arts Hero, too, is in addition to the Broadway community, which obviously this network, Broadway-Talk Live, is all about, Being Arts Hero has actually brought in people from the entire greater arts community, which represents, correct me if I'm wrong, 5.1 million.
You got it. 5.1 million. 5.1 million
My
people.
screen is very excited for this. I'm freezing a little bit, but I believe it's 5.1 million folks. And so with those 5.1 million people, tell us, Ms. Jenny Grace, is there something that they can all participate in, maybe this week, to help themselves and be an arts hero?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. What?
This is like the theme of the show. Everyone's just gonna...
Things we're not allowed to talk about.
It's like, I'm sorry, who? What? I also had to Google up, what was that person's name? Chynoweth?
Chynoweth. Kristin Chenoweth.
Kristin Chenoweth. Yeah, I mean, sounds nice. I'm sure, she's going to make it one of these days, I believe. I believe in Kristin. So we are doing a day of action, and it is on Labor Day because this is a labor movement. So, because we are laborers. Arts work is real work. And, we like to use the term arts worker instead of artist, not because not anything to diminish artists, but there are a lot of people who make the show go that are part of the arts and culture sector that are left out of the conversation when we talk about ourselves, right? When we just talk about artists, that's leaving out sort of the ushers and the stage managers and the technicians who make a Broadway show go up, or the janitorial staff or the administrative staff, and they're all arts workers, and they're what make Broadway, for example, go. So, Being Arts Hero is about bringing together entire sectors, so not just theater, not just Broadway, but dance, visual art, all of the parts, museums, all of the different parts of our sector, which is contributes $877 billion with a B to our economy. That's a huge number. So we're doing this day of action. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's the rosé.
It'll make the day of action that much better.
Yes, I'm gonna take a sip. Ready?
Yeah.
Do it, and then tell us all about this coming Labor Day.
This coming Labor Day, we're going to do a day of action. There's going to be live demonstrations facilitated by arts and culture institutions all over this country. And we are also going to be hosting Instagram Lives. Jackie was part of our last day of action, a little bit of a smaller one, but I cannot thank you enough. You were the only person that would get up at 11 a.m. to call their senator with me.
I called Kristin Gillibrand. I was like, hey girl, what's up? Support the artists. Me and Kristin, we're like good. We're good Judies now. You
are not afraid to get up for a cause. And I appreciate that. You will wake up. And I'll tell you, that is a rare quality in performers, in general.
Especially in a drag queen. But.
I wasn't going to go there. I was just more saying the artists in general tend to be like, if it happens before noon, then count me out,
Yeah. Well, in my defense, I didn't have to get in drag, so that helped. And so, in addition to calling senators, which is also part of the Day of Action, there's also a really cool project, which I'm so excited about, and I'm actually going to go record my portion of it directly after this show.
We're kind of keeping that a secret.
Oh, okay. So people.
But I will tell a little bit about the demonstration, which involves part of that.
Okay, yeah. Talk about this part. Yeah, see, we're a show full of secrets.
Secrets.
Guys, once again, I'll just say there goes @Being Arts Hero across the bottom of the screen. So if you want to know what we're talking about, that would be a good handle to follow.
Yeah, follow Be an
Anyway.
Arts Hero. Yeah.
Yes, we have a fun Instagram account for sure, so please follow us. So the live demonstrations, we have been so kind. First of all, the entire day of action is endorsed by Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. So it's like your mug was. Is your mug psychic?
It is. It's a psychic mug.
It's a psychic mug. It tells the future. So it's being endorsed by them. We have the permissions of the Larson estate, and Universal. The category is secrets. I love it. And we are singing as part of our the live demonstrations that are socially distanced, masked, and safe. We're singing "Will I" from Rent, and I know it's a very obscure musical that not a lot of people know about.
Christine's friend Adele was in it.
I'm sorry, what was that name?
Adele Dazeem. She was in it.
Oh, Adele Dazeem. Oh, I have heard of that person.
You've heard of that one.
Nicole never bothered her.
Yeah, no. So, and just as you were talking about, the reasons why are very similar. That this is a pandemic where a lot of our people are being left to die, basically. Where we're being left without a plan and we're being neglected. And so the song goes, if you don't know the lyrics, it goes, "Will I lose my dignity? Will someone care? Will I wake tomorrow from this nightmare?" And I think that means a lot to a lot of people right now. I think that everyone feels that way a little bit right now. So we thought it was a really important song for this time. Unfortunately, we're doomed to repeat history, in this case, that this song holds new relevance for a new generation, And I thought it was especially poignant because this musical is Rent. And if nothing is done by October 1st, 40 million people are going to be evicted.
Yeah.
So Rent is very much on our minds right now, and very much at the foremost of what we're trying to do.
That's amazing, Jenny Grace. So, first of all, thank you for joining us again. And if folks want to get to participate, and I think they can participate in many different ways, including calling their senators, including posting, and including just simply following at Be an Arts Hero. So that's the simplest, easiest thing that anyone watching can do. Follow at Be an Arts Hero, and then click the link in their bio to find all the ways you can support and be part of the day of action. I'm planning on posting things during the day of action throughout the day of things that I'll be participating in. And I think the other point that I believe you guys brought up in our town hall we did last night was that part of the goal of the day of action is that to really have all of this momentum right when the Senate comes back from recess, so that when the Senates come back from recess the next week, that they have our voices in their minds. They have our words in the minds, the words of Jonathan Larson in their minds as well. And I think that that's something that we all can do as a Broadway community, as an arts workers community, and join together. And I'm so excited to see how it all unfolds. And I'm going to be posting all about it. And I can't wait to see what happens, Ms. Jenny Grace.
We're very lucky to have you be a big part of our movement. And we're always so grateful you are such a wonderful advocate for arts workers everywhere. I'm so grateful. Please tune in and participate. And we're trying to make as much noise as possible because Congress comes back into session the very next day. So we want what they're thinking about to be arts workers and the arts and culture sector.
Amazing.
We're trying to leave them with something to remember us by. And I
think I like that, Jenny Grace. And like we said before, follow at Be an Arts Hero. You'll hear more from Jenny, from Brooke, and from Carson. It's going to be incredible. Jenny Grace, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Give us a little cheers.
Cheers.
And good morning tonight, my love.
Good
thank
morning
you so much.
Tonight. It's so good to see you.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
That was cool. And I think too, like more will be coming about what's happening on Monday. But the show must go on, and I think it's time to talk about our next guest, Michael.
I think it is. I gave you the first line. I just did those.
Oh, good.
Take it away.
Our next guest does it all. He starred on Broadway in The Secret Garden, Xanadu, and Wicked, as well as off-Broadway in Pageant, the musical. Here in New York, it's almost impossible to be a self-respecting, fabulous person and not know his name.
His long-running and beloved concert series, DIVA, is a staple of the theater district's nightlife, and he's continued to bring us incredible concerts and shows from home during COVID. His newest album, Slow Dancing with a Boy, is now available wherever you get your music. Plus, if you ask him really nicely, he just might cut your hair, but more on that later.
So please, welcome to the show, the multi-talented Marty Thomas!
Marty Thomas! Oh,
Good morning tonight. Cheers. Oh, Marty, you are being so safe over there with your mask.
Yes, I'm mask for mask over here.
Thank goodness. Wait,
made by
that's a gorgeous mask. Tell us about it.
Thank you. It's made by a tie-dye company run by, I cannot remember her name. I don't know, Tulip, Daisy, something like that.
one of those.
Yeah, I think it's Mary Sunshine Daisy. I think that's her name.
Yeah, some outfit out of Long Island, I believe, but I love it very much.
Oh, and someone noticed the Hell's Kitchenette's mug. What's in your mug, Marty Thomas?
Just a little water. I'm being an adult this evening, you know.
Well,
I am not. I am drinking Fireball in honor of you, sir, because you just celebrated a birthday.
Yay! I did
happy
celebrate a
belated
birthday. Thank
oh
you,
my
Miss
goodness.
Jackie.
You know, and I want to celebrate your birthday by making you do something for all of us. Marty, I hear that you have a song you've prepared for us.
I did prepare a song. I'm gonna sing a song. I released it last summer for Pride. It's part of a series that I was doing of pop songs mashed up with musical theater tunes, and it's mashing up a song from La Cage aux Folles with a Christina Aguilera power ballad. I released it last summer as the ballad version, and I'm just getting it, wrapping up the remix album of it. 12 remixes coming your way very soon.
Look at this album, which will be available wherever you get your music. And without further ado, I believe this is our first all live performance here on Good Morning Tonight.
Oh, really?
Very
Other
excited.
than us, Jackie.
Other than us, who we don't lip sync to our own pre-recorded vocals. But this is the first fully live performance here on Good Morning Tonight. And without further ado, give it up for the multi-talented Marty Thomas.
Thank you both. Let me make sure I'm doing this correctly.
Yes.
Don't look at me. I am what I am. I am my own special creation. So come take a look. Give me the hook or the ovation. It's my world that I want to take a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. Oh, so don't you bring me down today. Hey, oh, I am what I am. I don't want praise, I don't want pity. I bang my own drum. Some think it's noise, I think it's pretty. And so what if I love each feather and each spangle? Why not try to see things from a different angle? I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. Oh, so don't you bring me down today. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, no, there's one life, and there's no return and no deposit. One life, so it's time to open up your closet. Life's not worth a day until you can say, oh, I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring us down, so don't you bring me down today. Oh, I deal my own deck. Sometimes the ace, sometimes the deuces. Don't you bring me down, oh, today.
Marty Thomas!
Work!
Thank you. Oh, I've got to turn off my baby Jessica in the well. Cutter. There I am.
I had to use my hype and cheers button because I love that so much.
Thank you.
Marty, that was incredible. Thank you so much for, I think for all of us who love live performance, thank you for just being there, being present, and actually giving us this story, this moment, and this incredible vocal, and your I think your ability to tell these stories with your songs is something that people can hear in your voice, and I can't wait for them to download your new album that is dropping very soon. Marty, where are you coming to us from? I just have a lot of feelings.
I am in my apartment in Hell's Kitchen. I stayed. We didn't leave really. I went into deep quarantine. I think I was among the most extreme of the quarantiners.
You were extreme quarantine edition, Marty Thomas.
And I'm still pretty deep in quarantine. We're very careful. I'm here with my boyfriend Jeffrey and our dogs, and we've just been trying to work on ourselves, taking a lot of classes. Jeffrey went back to school. He started yesterday to finish his business degree, and I'm starting some logic courses and have just been learning, teaching myself some things. I'm recording a lot, doing things I just never would have had time to do before.
And I want to point out for the people that were losing it in the comments and well-deserved losing it in the comments, although the Remixes album is in the works, the album is out.
Yes, the single of I Am Beautiful, it was produced by Yasuhiko Fukuoka, which don't even ask me how many years it took me to say that. He's a very dear friend, but goes by the name of Yaz and plays piano bar throughout New York. And I brought the idea to him and we fleshed it out and recorded it in his studio for Pride last year. You can find I Am Beautiful by Marty Thomas on iTunes now. And
if you type Marty Thomas into YouTube or to Spotify, you will not just find that, you will find a plethora of gifts bestowed upon you. I highly recommend typing this man's name into Spotify. He has 2 albums, he's got EPs, he's got singles, he's got remixes, and every single one is just as good as what you just heard. Marty, we love you on this show and in this life.
Marty, and in addition to everything that you're working on the new things, I just have a question. It's I have no ulterior motive in asking this question, but are you working on any additional fabulous clothing garments? Maybe like the one I'm wearing, designed by Marty Thomas himself. Look at this, gorgeous. We have a beautiful shoulder moment. Look at this, a deep plunging neckline that I actually shaved my chest for to wear on this very program. Marty Thomas, how many new dresses have you made me in quarantine? And you can think about the answer because there's still quarantine left.
I have not made a single dress in quarantine. I think if I pulled out my sewing machine, my boyfriend would probably slaughter me because we are overloaded with stuff and things.
I get that. But tell Jeffrey, it's just for little old me. I'm only a size 6. Oh, come on. You just get out half the sewing machine.
Lynn is wondering, is there anything that Marty can't do? And Lynn, the answer is no. The man can do it all. And I'm excited to hear that you are learning even more skills in quarantine. Marty, you are like you're the king of like, I want to do it. I'm going to figure out how to do it. I'm going to learn the skills, and then I'm going to be amazing at it.
I own a wig styled by Marty. It's granted, it's fishtail braids, so I didn't think it was. It's a little more Louise from Gypsy than it is.
I was going to say it looks a little Arendelian. It's a little.
Yeah. It's very Anna from Frozen. Yeah, I do own a wig styled by Marty Thomas as well. But in addition to all the things you've been working on, I guess solo, we have to talk about. I think the institution of New York nightlife, I would say what really put New York on the map in terms of not just drag and not just kind of cabaret, but bringing it all together with the long running and now continuing on in a new format in quarantine, DIVA.
Put your hand on your hip.
Yeah. Lean to the left.
There it is.
DIVA, man, I miss doing DIVA. DIVA really took it out of me because it was such a, I don't think that most people that know the DIVA show that ran every Monday at Industry Bar for 8 years we ran, which is a lot in nightlife, in any capacity. To run one show for 8 years is crazy. But I don't think most people that saw the show knew what work went into it, that I was costuming and making costumes and writing the arrangements and building tracks and booking and doing choreography and arrangements and rehearsals. And it was just kind of zapping my lifeblood a little bit. So we had to take a little break so that I could get myself together and work on the album that I released late last year, Slow Dancing with a Boy, and kind of work on me. But since quarantine happened, we've been bringing back the DIVA show and doing it. We were doing it weekly up until the Black Lives Matter movement. We created a little space for our friends and family. We just kind of got out of the way, but we're talking about bringing it back and doing some more DIVA shows, because who the hell would have known quarantine was still happening?
I can't believe we're still here.
Who knew?
Also, you have been, I want to give you credit where credit is due, because you were kind of paving the way as an early adapter of moving programming to online platforms. You know, Jackie and I are coming to you live from a platform called StreamYard, but we learned about that because you found it, and you kind of were the first person I knew who was like, okay, we're trapped in our houses. What do we do? Well, I guess we sing, because that's what we do, and that's what makes other people smile. And you jumped right into it with just abandon and kept making shows happen. What was that like in terms of, you know, you're so used to programming nonstop at bars. I think if you're here in New York, you can see Marty Thomas at a different bar 3, 4, 5 nights a week. What was that moment like of retreating into your home and having to kind of reinvent the way you share with the world?
I mean, I'm sure you can relate that when we first started doing the shows, it was terrifying because it was just a completely new format of, it's just wild to think that the online show format really developed itself 5 months ago.
Right.
It feels like we've always been doing shows online. We've kind of gotten used to it. I had my very good Judy, Rachel Potter, who is another do-it-yourself bitch who just dives in and educates herself to learn a new skill when she has to. We launched in and just tackled it together. We would spend all day, every day, researching and reading, figuring out how to use StreamYard and 6 other programs that we tried that just didn't work as well. And then we spent the next 3 months every day in tutorials with our friends who were starting to put on shows and help them figure out what we had figured out little by little. But it was just trial and error. And boy, oh boy, have you guys really stepped it up and polished it.
Well, we've learned a lot from you, Marty.
I do think and Michael Hall, right below me here, definitely deserves most of the credit. And I think what's really interesting that you bring up, too, in addition to all the technical parts, I think what's so interesting for all of us who perform not just on Broadway in kind of closed fourth wall productions, but for those of us like you, like me, like Michael, who are used to the cabaret stage, to stages at bars and clubs, it's a new experience performing kind of with a new semi-fourth wall, in the sense
Mhm.
that I'm so used to seeing a face in the audience, a laugh, hearing an audible laugh, or a cheer, or an applause, or a eh, sometimes. How has that been for you adapting? And I certainly, for me, I've learned to just kind of rely on myself, look at the comments, and then hope for the best. But what's the secret for you?
I've been working in nightlife this is my 20-year anniversary of working in New York nightlife. I
Since you were
started
10 years
Marty
old.
is, yeah, yep.
So I started doing nightlife 20 years ago. I wasn't even old enough to get into bars, and I was hosting nightlife shows. And there's an energy about nightlife that is just, you can't replicate. There's not a stage or a screen that you can replicate what it feels like to nail it in nightlife. There's also nothing that can quite replicate what it feels like to tank in nightlife. We all know that feeling. But those nights.
What do you mean? My Proud Mary Crawley from Downton Abbey mix was a huge hit.
Huge hit.
Huge hit.
There were 12 people who just lived and breathed.
I mean, you guys are fearless. I have appeared with Jackie live a few times, and I have to tell you, it is always my worst nightmare. It is like, it ends up being so fun, but it is like my heart is in my butt, like I am sweating. It's like nightlife is like a new kind of beast. Like, it is immediate feedback. There are no secrets, but there's nothing quite like it.
And they're very, a nightlife audience is very honest. They're very drunk, but they're very honest. And it's interesting to be a man, to be a male presenting, he, him, ownership, performer in nightlife. It's not common. And it doesn't tend to work well in gay nightlife, which I've always found fascinating. But I have figured out formats that gay audiences welcome having a guy on stage. Mm-hmm. It's a challenge, a very big challenge. What I found with being online is the lack of bachelorette parties standing in the front row with their backs to you screaming bloody murder. That's nice.
I'm sure that, and I would echo that, in the sense that I think the one nice thing is, I think, nightlife brings people out for a number of reasons. Maybe they just want to hit on the bartender. Maybe they want to just get wasted. Well, I will say that one of the amazing benefits is, in addition to reaching a much broader audience all around the world, which we can now from the comforts of our homes, it's people choosing to find us and choosing to follow us and continue to follow us. And I think what's, I think as they're getting to know us, they're getting to know our communities, the people that we love and work with. And I'm learning, an amazing community that's worldwide now. And I think that's, to focus more on the positive sides, there really are some great things that are happening online. And I will echo Michael, and thank you for being one of the pioneers in certainly our space. In that.
Oh wow!
So
well, thank you.
Yeah.
And also, what we found with that first, like you were saying, what we found with that first show that we did, that Rachel and I did, was we had a show where we had a guest in Australia and a guest in London and a guest in Nashville and a guest in all doing the same show, and the next day, after we had a couple hundred viewers that first show, and the next day, the video of it, the restream of it, was thousands and thousands of people from all over the world had commented and seen it. And I was like, oh, why have we been doing these one-off bar shows for so long? Huh.
For the love of art, Marty, the love of art.
I had the cash tips, let's be honest.
Those cash tips that make you feel like you're nailing it. And I'm like, oh, well, thousands of views and a few hundred Instagram followers a week makes me feel good too.
That's good too. And I think it's so, as we keep navigating this world, I think we're all going to learn more things and new things. And speaking of things that we know and love and maybe aren't so new, I'm going to bring back Marissa Rosen to the stream, because you know her very well. And if there's anyone who's going to pressure you to bring back divas, it's probably Marissa, but maybe not. Marissa, talk to me about your relationship with Marty. Tell us the real tea. How much of a diva is he to work with?
Uh-oh.
How has your over decade-long partnership been? We called you a Broadway power couple. Prove it to us.
You know what, Marissa? I'll even give you 60 seconds on the clock to think of a really good answer, because you guys, the jig is up. We knew that you were just faking not knowing each other. And here's a little bit of proof. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Marty and Marissa.
Marty and Marissa!
John, what are you doing there?
Well, I'm clapping my hands.
Well, that looks like fun.
It is fun. You should try it, Levi.
All right, I'll try it. How's it go?
It goes like this.
I know I've had my doubts before, but now there's proof we can't ignore. So why deny it anymore? There is
So you've worked together in the past, it seems.
Uh-oh, they found us out. Oh my God, that brought me so much terrified joy.
I 100% forgot about that Christmas song that we did at Joe's Pub. I'm working on a Christmas album right now, and I'm like, okay, just added that track to it.
Leave it to Michael Hall to dig up the footage. Michael will find where the bodies are buried.
I am
Well
a
done,
sleuth,
Michael.
and I've got YouTube, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Oh, God.
Those
Just hope he
lyrics,
never makes one for me. Ooh.
I cannot believe you didn't show the whole clap video.
You guys, they're all on YouTube. I'm telling you, Google it now. Marissa, the question at hand, we must get back. What's it like working with Marty Thomas? Marty, the same question will follow for you, so prepare your answer. Marissa Rosen?
He's looking. He's like, bitch. No, I mean, I can't even lie. It's Marty's like one of the top 5 best things that ever happened in my life. And I hate saying it. I hate it. But it was just one of the, we literally met at Industry Bar.
I know it well.
77,000 years ago, and just clicked. We didn't know what each other did. We didn't know that each other were on the arts, and the world brought us together several times. And he's been my champion ever since, and I can't thank him enough for being the best wife there ever.
You can try.
I feel like we're doing group therapy here. And Marty, what's it like working with Marissa?
Oh, I love working with Marissa. She's my favorite, as everybody knows. I have been, I feel like I am very proud that I feel like I did have a helping hand in encouraging Marissa to find who Marissa Rosen is today. She was a very nervous performer of her. She just wasn't proud of herself in the way that I was proud of her, and she didn't see herself the way that I saw her. So I just needed to get through a tough exterior of doubt and get through so she could see how fabulous she is. And it thrills me that the rest of the world is now seeing her the way that I've always seen her. I've always thought she was hilarious and gifted, and I'll never forget the first time I heard her sing when she wasn't like holding back, and I'll never forget the first time, like the night we met was at Industry Bar way before Diva was a thing, and I was doing My Big Gay Italian Wedding off Broadway, and Marissa was on the other side.
That I apologize. I omitted that from your introduction.
It's all right.
We're good here. I was on the window side of the pool table in the front of Industry Bar. And I was like in this deep lunge dancing with my friends, like giving this stank face and doing this. And I had a hand up kind of waving myself. And I legit looked on the other side of the pool table, and there was 5-foot Marissa Rosen in a deep lunge giving stank face. And we caught eyes and realized we were doing the same dance move. And I was like,
What song was this to?
who the hell cares? I was
There must be a Santa Claus from Elf the Musical.
it was something Destiny's Child, Britney, or Rihanna, because that's all that Industry Bar plays. So we were given it, and we crossed and had a chat and sort of like went our separate ways. Next night, I'm running late, and I get into my theater, My Big Gay Italian Wedding. We walk through the lobby to get in, and Miss Thing standing in the lobby. And I'm like, are you seeing this show tonight? She was like, I don't even know how to have this conversation. We'll talk after. And after the show, she's like, I'm going into this show tomorrow. I start rehearsals.
I didn't know this story.
Yeah. And then after her first rehearsal, because I rehearsed with her, we were like, let's take the train home together. We lived 10 blocks away from each other and went to the same gym. And I think that was our first sleepover that night. And we spent the next 10 years together.
Well,
we used to play 21 questions every night before we went to bed so we could get to know each other, because we got into a friendship so fast. It was insane.
That is quite the meet cute. Like someone needs to like write a romantic movie, but it's just the two of you, and
people
there's some
don't
kind of
believe
romance.
that story is a thing. And how could we convince people that it is a thing? Because I don't even know who else was there. No one else mattered.
That's true. It was just us.
My big gay Italian wedding, the long-running off-Broadway musical on Restaurant Row. We miss it, maybe. And
honestly, I miss theater so much that I missed my big gay Italian wedding.
I would take it. I would take it right now. Thank you both so much for joining us. And also big thanks to Jenny, who is still hanging out here.
Let's bring her back.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jenny Grace, for joining us today and talking about Be an Arts Hero. And for everyone watching, this is a community. These are people and real lives and friendships. And I think that our goal here at the Broadway Talk Live Network through all of our shows is to bring this community together. So thank you to the three of you for joining us. We love you both. All both. How did I say three people? All three of you. And good morning tonight. A big cheers. One last cheers. Thank you all so much.
Cheers.
I don't know if my mug will make it on the camera, because when we bring 5 people in, I get awfully frozen. But thanks you guys so much for joining us. We really adore all three of you.
Rose and Rainbow.
Wear a
Rose and Rainbow.
Okay.
I think we're
Jackie?
still a little frozen. At least
Jackie's
I am.
a little behind. Let's see. Sometimes when I take you, well, actually, no, we can't do that. You guys, we made it. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Marty, Marissa, Jenny, Grace. Thank you for joining us for this 5th installment of Good Morning Tonight. Jackie, I think you're back. Go ahead and say
I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back. I'm back in time for our parting words, and I think these parting words are important.
Before we part, I just want to remind people what's coming up on the channel. I want to remind them 2 things.
Oh, yeah, this is important.
First reminder, you guys, thanks again for tuning in, and thank you for your already generous support. If you had fun tonight, there's 2 things you can do for us. 1, hit subscribe on YouTube, and 2, if you have the means, and we get it, the world is a crazy place right now, but if you'd like to make a donation to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, you can tip Jackie Cox. 100% of tips tonight will be going directly to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, and if you have it within your means to do so, we would appreciate it.
Shout out to Aaron who tipped. Shout out to Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron. Stay tuned on Broadway Talk Live. This Thursday, I'm back with my buddy Dylan Bustamante. We do a Broadway happy hour called the 5:30 Quarantini. That is Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. On Mondays, it's MT Trivia. It stands for musical theater, but also for Metzger-Timpson, because your hosts are Christopher and Kevin Metzger-Timpson. And that'll be a super fun night.
And then on Tuesday, you're back with us. You probably can't see my mouth moving, but I am still in the show. On Tuesday nights, it is back to Good Morning Tonight with me, Jackie Cox, and Michael Hall. And now it's time for our parting words.
Sure
and now
is.
I'll let you do the intro.
It's time for some parting words. You guys, there's been some stuff going on, some stuff circulating about the state of New York, about New York being dead. Jackie and I do not agree. And we just want you to know we're here. We're not going anywhere. We love New York. New York is our home. We're excited to be here. And I think with that, we will give you our parting words for tonight's episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you all.
New York, New York, New York, New York, New York.
We've got one day here and another minute to see the famous sights. We'll find the romance and danger waiting in it beneath the Broadway lights. But we've hair on our chests, so what we like the best are the nights. New York, a hell of a town. The Bronx is up and the Battery's down. The people ride in a hole in the ground. New York, New York, it's a hell of a town.
The famous places to visit are so many, or so the guidebooks say.
I promised Daddy I wouldn't miss on any, and we have just one day. Gotta see the whole town from Yonkers on down to the Bay. In just one day.
New York, a hell of a town. The Bronx is up, but the battery's down. The people ride in a hole in the ground. New York, New York.